What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, parentheses, Kelly, giving you that Friday energy on a Wednesday. This is a different kind of episode. You know that Wednesdays are always the Bachelorette recap, which we will be giving you. If you look on YouTube, I have my notepad in front of me, taking trusty notes like our Francesca would on the Bachelorette. Unfortunately, Fran could not be with us today, and Trent could not be with us today because Trent is always golfing. Always. Trent loves golf, and we've talked about that many of times, that Trent has a golf problem that he has to deal with.
It's starting to get concerning.
Yes.
I feel like we need to raise attention to the authorities about it because it's a little out of control. Yeah, certainly.
Certainly he's golfing, so it's Rhea, Kelly, and Noah giving you the best Bachelorette recap that you're going to find on the internet. I could promise you that.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Listen,
it's going to be great.
I know.
Listen, we know how people feel about us with The Bachelorette.
We know how they feel, which sucks because I really do like The Bachelorette. I love it. And I pay attention so much. And everybody's always like, oh, Kelly, because I'm up against Trent. Like, I can't, how could I possibly be up against Trent? I can't. Like, he always wins. So I'm always already at the disadvantage.
It's okay because they don't like you for The Bachelor. They don't like me for The Bachelor, Bachelorette either. Because
you weren't ride or die for a while. You are now. I feel like you're crossing over into the time of ride or die for Bachelor, but I think you felt because you fell in love with Joe and Serena. Now you're a little bit of a believer. I think the tides will change.
I got 6 fucking pages here filled with notes, ladies and gentlemen,
you took a lot of
to talk about this episode. Okay, so Rhea's prepared. Kelly's prepared, and we're going to talk about this damn show, and you guys are going to like it. And like we said, we're aware. You wish Fran and Trent were here. Stop crying. Stop crying about it.
Get over it.
Back.
Suck it up.
Get over it. Hop on the Rhea and Kelly train today. Choo-choo. Come along.
Mom and dad are out. The kids are playing.
Yes.
It's cool. Let it happen.
The 2 wild sisters, daughters, the 2 slutty daughters are here, and we're ready to have a good time. And our little broski in the middle, Noah.
Still little bro.
Noah.
So little bro, you were big bro on your birthday.
Oh, I didn't realize it was just a one-day thing.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't a total promotion.
Fine.
That was just a one-day grant.
Fine. He's our big bro.
All right.
I don't even know if I don't know if I want to be a big bro.
How about he's just a triplet?
Oh, yeah.
We're
the 3 of us are triplets. Okay. And let's each describe our personalities. We're triplets. We're all the same age, but you act a little older, more mature.
Yeah.
You're like, you have your wits together, but you also like to party every single night.
For sure. I'll go out all night long, but then I'll still make it to the meeting in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay, now
People
describe
are already
Noah and
like, shut the fuck up and talk about the Bachelor.
Yeah, they're like, okay, you guys said you were going to talk about The Bachelor and you guys are talking about yourselves. We're going to get there. We're just giving you the dynamic.
Yeah, we'll get there. You
so
need to
that
know.
when you listen, you could be like, I'm listening to 3 siblings. Now
Right.
give me and Noah our assignments.
I think Noah needs to come in with a couple little quips. He's kind of quiet. He's in the background, but he comes through and he's very funny. He might arguably be the funniest. Like if we're really breaking it all down, he might be the funniest. But no one really knows that because he doesn't. Because
he's shy. He's like
But
my
also,
brother.
like,
He's humble. He's humble.
Yeah.
He's humble.
It's like I talk just enough where people don't hate me.
Yeah,
Yet they don't know enough about me to hate me.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, fair. You're the little brother, or the same age brother that all the parents think, oh, he's such a good kid.
Yeah, but then
Always,
you guys like actually know like.
And
he
we're the
sucks.
bad influences.
Yes.
Yeah, and we know that you have like a little snark behind you. At
You
all
do.
times, at
We
all
know
times.
what you're doing behind the scenes.
We understand. And then Rhea, I think that you're coming at us with the facts today. Like you're going to be prepared on the same level as me, but you're going to be a little silly. You're the silly sibling. We all know
The class clown.
You're the class clown.
Could be annoying.
Silly. But you, like I said, you got all these notes. It's like you're throwing me off a little bit. You're looking the most serious. So,
my
I don't
stance
know.
has me feeling extremely
Yeah,
serious.
you're looking.
You
You're
should
looking
just
pretty for real.
pretend to be Fran the whole episode.
Yeah, just be Fran.
Wait.
Just be Fran.
Okay, I'm Fran, you're Trent.
Okay.
Now everyone
Okay.
feels better.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right, let's get
That's
get
Trent.
started
That was my Trent impression.
with the Bachelorette recap.
Okay.
Before we get into the recap, though, I hope some of you are out there watching on Sling TV because I talk about my backyard setup, which is awesome. I got a couch in the backyard, a little bar, a little TV, and we do have Sling TV out there because we don't have cable out there, but Sling TV provides all the channels that you would get on regular cable. You got the streaming services. Sling TV is awesome. That's where I sit back. I'll throw on a movie. I watched Just Go With It on TV the other day on Sling TV in my backyard. It is a good movie. Adam Sandler, he's
Love
great.
him.
And also they have the Barstool channel, so you can watch this show, all the other favorite Barstool shows that you like, whichever you're into. They got it on Sling TV. So right now, if you want to get Sling TV and get a little deal, you can go to sling.com/Barstool and you'll get $10 off your first month. I'm telling you guys, Sling TV is so worth it. A lot of people don't have cable nowadays. They'll just like download whatever app. Sling TV has you covered on all fronts. So make sure you're checking out Sling TV. Go to sling.com/barstool and you'll get $10 off your first month. We started off, obviously, Michelle is talking with Tayshia a little bit, getting a little feel for the day. We know that a group date is coming, and we get a little glimpse of the guys talking about Michelle and how they feel so connected to Michelle, you know, with the rose ceremonies and the way that she looks them right in the eye. They feel like Michelle is giving them a lot of attention that maybe we haven't seen with prior bachelorettes.
I will say this about I'm done being Trent. I was just trying.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm Rhea now
for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Kelly again. I think that Michelle surprised me this episode because she speaks so intensely to people. Like that's what I've noticed this whole time is anybody that she's talking to, she makes it seem like they are the only man in the world and she is in love with them. And I don't know if those are her real feelings. Like, is she a compassionate person like that, or she just like I don't know, it looks like she's staring into their souls. Like I don't know, something about it. And they're all in love with her.
She has beautiful eyes.
Beautiful eyes.
So her eyes are very
but
captivating.
they're all, you can tell that these guys are like gaga for her.
Yes.
Like their eyes are on the floor, you know, like that cartoon style. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, they're under her spell right now.
Completely.
And as they should be, because I'm liking Michelle. Obviously things later on in the episode we will talk about. They have a group date, and obviously Michelle is a teacher, so things are going to be very teacher oriented, basketball oriented this episode. And they do a classroom date with fifth graders, kind of like, you know, are you smarter than a fifth grader's style here. And there's one guy that really stands out in this group date, and it's Peter, for being very annoying. And now for people who, because we're not so familiar with these guys yet, but Peter is the pizzapreneur.
He's the pizzapreneur. They had them do several things. They had them do math questions with, by the way, if you put any math question in front of me, I'm getting it wrong. I'm embarrassing myself. I think that's rude. I think it's a little mean of Michelle to be like, hey guys, you know, let's talk about numbers. Numbers aren't everybody's thing. Maybe they can't shine. However, Peter was maybe the most obnoxious person in the world. Just like really wanting a lot of attention. Like he was acting like the class clown. He was acting like a little kid, acting up in class. And I imagine someone who is a teacher would see someone behaving like that who's not a child and is like, oh, well, that's just very annoying behavior.
Yeah, I think that number one, the math questions point you brought up. I'm so fucking bad at math. Like it's embarrassing. Bad. I still use my fingers to count.
Same.
So if they brought math questions in front of me, the guy would be like, oh, she's stupid, because I am very bad at math. I don't know how these fifth graders know what they're doing. But yeah, Peter was really annoying. But what I found even more annoying than Peter in this little group date was the last question that was asked was spell narcissist, which number one, fifth graders are not spelling narcissist.
Nobody is spelling that. They had them actually, the words they had them spell throughout the whole thing were ridiculous. They had them spell limousine. Can you spell limousine?
Yes. I'm actually a really great speller, and I'm not trying to
decent speller.
Limousine. Limousine.
Limousine. Yeah, I think that is how it's spelled for sure. And then another one too, entrepreneur. They had them spell, which, like, you know, Mr. Pizzapreneur, he knows what the hell is up. But narcissist felt like a last minute producer plan. Like, oh, tell him say narcissist. And then we got our boy Will. I think it was Will who said it. Will, instead of writing narcissist, writes Peter's name. And I'll be honest, I laughed out loud. I was glad that somebody did that because Peter was so annoying.
You know what made me laugh? Were the kids laughing.
Yeah.
Like the kids were like, he wrote narcissist. Like, I did not know what a narcissist was till like 4 years ago.
The little girl was like, he wrote Peter. Like really like stomping on his grave. Like, fuck you, Peter.
Wait,
you suck. Like, you're the
actually
worst.
her students or just random kids?
These kids are paid actors.
I think they were. They're
they're actors. I'm telling you guys, there was a casting call that went out for young fifth graders for The Bachelorette. There's no way these are her students.
You're right. There's no way she knew these kids. But so yeah, that was wild. And I think that Peter deserved to be called out. He deserved to be like a little bit embarrassed because he was acting like a fool.
I'm sorry. I'm just still stuck on these kids, fifth graders, which, by the way, they probably weren't in fifth grade. They probably put out a little age range.
They were like
in
10,
the casting
11
call,
years
like
old,
ages 10 to 15. Sign up here, that type of thing.
100%.
But then we get Michelle talking to some of the guys. She talked to Brandon a little bit, and I think she really likes Brandon, but in this moment, she called Brandon out for like being corny and being cheesy, and like she's seeing right through that. But later on, we talk about that Brandon ended up getting the rose, so it worked out for him. But Peter and Will obviously have a little standoff because they're talking about Will writing down Peter's name for narcissist. This is where my full hatred for Peter came through. You know, I love a good Italiano, of course, but Peter stepped in here and was calling Will Stunad, and You would never see me get on The Bachelor and start calling girls stunad or butana disgraziata.
No,
that's
no,
not.
you would never.
Don't do that. You do that with your family in the privacy of your own home. You're not on The Bachelorette calling people stunad.
Well, it's annoying
Because you're fake ass pizza man. He's not even a real fucking Italian.
Exactly. You're saying all this shit. You're saying it for no reason. It's like when people say, they walk around being like, gabagool. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
what
like,
do you
shut up.
What are you using these words
I'm
for?
gonna shove
It
this
doesn't even make
gabagool in your
sense.
mouth.
Doesn't even make sense in this conversation
Yeah.
we're having at all. Like, he just wants to like stunt his Italian stallion power. Like, it's as if it's some shit that he can bring up and like
Yeah.
intimidate with.
Yeah, like he's
whoa.
got cool Italian slang.
Yeah, like what the fuck are you talking about? You make pizzas. Like what the? I don't
Yeah,
even
Will
know.
was like
I don't
pizza,
even-
pizza, pizza, which I actually like.
That was
I
funny.
was on Will's side here because
It's very much on Will's side.
Peter is very annoying, and then Michelle's trying to have a conversation with Arumide. I know how it's spelled.
Yes,
I just don't know how to pronounce
I
it.
do not know how to pronounce it either. I heard them
And
say it.
Michelle's trying to have a conversation with him.
Olamide,
Alamide, sorry.
I think. Olumide. Very sweet. And they were having a nice conversation. And all you could hear in the background was fucking Will and Peter screaming at each other. And they were screaming at each other in a way that it didn't even look like they were looking at each other. They were just like standing apart, yelling into the air. Like, looked ridiculous.
What was the slice comment?
Oh, fuck. It was like, like, yeah, have a slice. Or something like that.
Have another slice.
Yeah, have another slice. It was something along
Something
those lines.
stupid. I'm like, why are we talking so much about Peter and his pizza? I'm over it.
He's right. Like if anybody's on the show for clout, it's Peter and his pizza business because his pizza business is about to blow up because he's on the show and all we talk about is his pizza.
I will be so shocked if Peter doesn't reach out to Dave or Barstool in some capacity to
without
do a pizza
question.
review
100%.
after this whole thing to push his pizzapreneur little tour thing that he's got.
His little project.
Yes. Michelle ends up talking to more of the other guys. She's talking to Rick. It seems like her and Rick have chemistry. I didn't really like Rick's vibe here. I didn't like the way he was sitting with Michelle. That's just my own preference. But it seems like Michelle's into him. They were playing a little ad-lib game.
The way that Rick and Michelle interact with each other is giving me early Katie and Greg vibes. And when we all liked Greg. Remember,
Yes.
like before he turned into like the biggest asshole of all time, Rick seems a little possessive, I think. Like that's just a kind of I don't know. I get a vibe that he's like possessive. He's very jealous of the other guys, that he's trying to play it cool. And something about like he stares into her soul. Like he's another one that is just like so captivated by Michelle, really likes Michelle. So I don't know. He seems like an okay guy for the most part. He had that little Mad Libs thing come through and he's like, trying to get her to write in that they have chemistry, and at the end it was like, and at the end of the night they share a blank, and it's like a kiss and then smooching and whatever, and I think that's all nice. I think that I foresee Rick being a problem in the future with jealousy. I think he's got a jealous thing going on.
I think that's a good call on Rick's part. I'm not too invested in him just yet because I don't love him, but it seems
think
like
he's cute?
Michelle. No, I'm not so
I think
interested.
he is cute, but only sometimes. Like sometimes I think he looks like John Hamm, and sometimes I think he looks like he needs a nap. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, more so
are
I'm on
you
the nap
good?
side.
Yeah, like he looks. But then I start thinking like, he looks like a little bit undead or something. Like, is he a vampire? Like, what's his
Ooh,
vibe?
zombie
Like, I
vibe?
don't know. Yeah, something about him.
Zombieland. We
He's
talked about this.
Yeah, we
Hot
did.
zombies.
Hot zombies.
Would you?
Always.
Michelle ends up talking to Peter about the yelling and the fight. She did appreciate, she was mature about this fight. Usually I feel like with past Bachelor and Bachelorettes, when a fight happens with some of the guys, the Bachelorette or the Bachelor is so quick to be like, this is a problem. Like, you're a problem.
Totally.
She was a little bit more mature about it and understood the frustration. And she was like, you just need to, after we talk, gather yourself, take a minute, and like get yourself together. Because at the end of the day, as annoying as Peter was and is, people have emotions and they're going to get worked up and they're going to get frustrated, and that's just life. And like, you need to recognize that, maybe that person needs to take a minute, and maybe that does not define their entire being.
Totally agree. And also too, the issue at hand, he was called a narcissist in front of everybody, in front of on TV, and like, he was annoying, and Will was probably joking. Generally speaking, he doesn't actually think he's a narcissist. Maybe he does, whatever. But I think I get pretty pissed if some like random jabroni is like, hey, what's up? Like, you're a narcissist. Like, I don't know you, but that's you now.
If it
You
was
were annoying
somebody that
today.
I really only knew for like a week, I'd be like, you have no idea anything about me. How are you going to say I'm a narcissist? In these situations, do you think that it's the producer whispering in Will's ear to write down Peter's name?
Sometimes I think that they will make jokes like, you know how when you want somebody to like make a joke, but you want to be the one to make the joke, but you don't want it like to be attached to
Yes,
it.
yes.
So you're like, wouldn't it be so funny if you like
you
did
that.
this? Or like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what if somebody did this? Like, wouldn't that be so funny? And then you'd be
then-
like, yeah, that would be so funny. I'm gonna do that.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I think they try to make it sound like it's their own
Yeah.
ideas when the producers are meddling a little bit.
And you get so excited when the other person's like, I'll do it.
Yeah,
You're like,
for
fuck
sure.
yes.
It's like,
you
oh,
do it.
definitely.
Yes,
Perfect. Yeah,
you
yeah,
should do
you-
that.
and then you can all
go
laugh
ahead. Go
about it.
ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But nobody's really in trouble. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of the vibe that.
That always
these things
confuses
happen.
me because I'm like, Will was quick enough to think of that on the spot. I don't
Right.
know. Would I be quick enough to think of that on the spot, especially if I didn't know the person that well?
That's what I'm
I'm not
saying.
really sure about that.
Yeah, no, that was a tough call out.
Yeah.
Like that could have gone terribly. Like Peter could have freaked. I mean, they did fight or whatever, but he could have freaked out like on the spot.
Yeah,
you know?
threw the desks over.
Totally.
Fifth graders getting all scared, running away.
100%.
That could have happened. The group date ends, and Michelle gives the group date rose to Brandon, which I think we could see that Michelle and Brandon have a connection.
They do. They are. They're very cute. I think he's a little bit younger than her, if I'm remembering correctly. And he tried to play that corny line on her. It was just like, oh, like you're the light in the stars and whatever. Like I don't know. He was just being lame. But she doesn't really vibe with that. Like she's just kind of like, oh no, I'm liking this, but I also think that you're corny. Like you must use that line on all the girls, whatever. And then immediately he was like, damn, okay, like I won't try that kind of stuff on you. And then right when that part happened, I feel like they connected more in being able to laugh about like how awkward it is that he's hitting on her
Yes.
and how strange the whole thing is. And I think that she liked that like moment of silliness and realness
Yeah.
from him for sure.
I think that is a little fun thing to be able to tease the person you're with about their feelings for you,
Totally.
even though on the inside that you probably feel the same way, just to test them a little bit, because you want to be able to tease the person you're with and have them still stand their ground and be like, no, I do feel these things about you, instead
Yeah.
of being like, you're right, like I was being like, or be like, yeah, I am being cheesy, but I still do like you.
Yeah, like the sentiment still stands.
Yes,
I
exactly.
still feel this way about you for sure.
For sure. Then we move on to the one-on-one date with Jamie, which was rock climbing. Jamie seems like a cool guy. You were saying this. He seems like a little bit more serious. And I asked you if you thought that it was more like a Riley type of vibe. I think he seems a little less serious than Riley.
Yeah.
But that's the vibe we got from Riley. Was like calm, cool, collected guy, a little more serious than jokey.
I agree with that still. I think that that Jamie is, I think maybe he's just a little older, like he's like age appropriate, I
Yes.
think. And he is taking the situation very seriously. Like I can tell that he is into Michelle and he is wanting to do well in this show. I don't know if it's necessarily like for Michelle, but he definitely wants to do well. And the rock climbing thing, Michelle said something that I think was really important, that she's usually the coach to other people, but Jamie was coaching her during that rock climbing. Like he was telling her like, oh, put your foot right there, put your hand right there, really helping her. Like she was nervous a lot while climbing up the mountain. She's looking down, she's freaking out, and he helped her through it. And she loved that. She loved that somebody else like kind of took control of it and took care of her. Because I feel like as a teacher, she probably is feeling like, she needs to provide to all these kids and she needs to be the one to help everybody, and that she wants a little bit of help for herself. So
Yeah.
Jamie was there to fill that need for her.
Right. And I think that, there's going to be a lot of teacher cliches and basketball cliches, like we said, but ultimately it is her life. She is a teacher. This is what surrounds her day to day. And after having Michelle on the show, I think that we did get the vibe. Oh my God, my pen just flew out of my hands because I'm being so serious.
I know. So you're being so serious. So serious
Who
right
the
now.
fuck is this person?
No, it's great.
Everyone loves this side. I think that she's going to stick to being a teacher. I think that there are people who go on the show and they take a different career path after being on the show. They taste a little bit of fame. I don't think Michelle, it depends on how it goes, because she's obviously going to get a lot of opportunities and that may come in the way, but she doesn't love Instagram. She doesn't love that social media life. I think she's going to stick to being a teacher. So having this is important, and she shouldn't, in a relationship, she shouldn't feel like she's the only one teaching the other person. It probably is good to feel, like you said, switch the roles around. And that was nice to see during this rock climbing date. Then we move into the dinner portion of the date, which got a little serious. I liked what they were talking about at the beginning of the date, where Jamie mentioned it's not always going to be rock climbing. Sometimes we're going to be going to the grocery store,
right?
And we're going to be taking grocery store trips. And Michelle talked about her family and her parents being together for 33 years, and they still go to the grocery store together. They still do these things together. Humble brag. My parents still do those things too. And I think that it's like, even shows me, and I can see where Michelle's coming from this, is like because there's so many relationships nowadays you see that just like fucking people after years, they get tired of being together. They lose all their fun. They're just like not the same couple. But then you see people who have been together for 30 plus years who still never leave each other's side. They still do everything together. And it's a really great example. So in Michelle's life, she has this great example. But Jamie comes in and he, appreciates hearing from Michelle that she said, if you don't come from an example like that, does not mean that you can't have it in the future. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. They don't have good examples in their life and they think this can never be.
Right.
Where then Jamie steps in and he, it gets pretty serious. He talks about his life struggling. He said, the first portion of his life was really good, and his mom had him when he was 18, and things were good. And he even thought about skipping a grade because he was always so good in school. But then his mom started dealing with a lot of mental health issues, and I think this was probably really comforting for other people who deal with this sort of thing to watch, because
definitely.
I think that a lot of times we hear about people themselves dealing with like mental health 100%. Issues, but you don't hear about people a lot talking about their parents. And like people, this is going to sound so, I don't even know, cheesy or whatever. People forget that parents are people too. Like they have feelings. Like I forget sometimes like about my mom's feelings, and I'm like, oh my God, like
completely. And even to what you're saying, the like stable households, that it's that stability of seeing like a married couple stay for so long and be together and have that support system at home. And Jamie, growing up as somebody who maybe didn't have quite that stable of a life, a lot of the pressure of his mother who was struggling fell onto him. And you never think about what happens to the kids that have to deal with that. Like, I feel like I'm always hearing, all my friends are depressed, everybody I know is depressed, like blah, 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 whatever. But you don't think about having to deal with a parent or a family member or somebody who's going through a hard time, and that really affects you at a young age. He went on to even say about how he would be sitting in class and he would be worried while at class, being like, I wish I wasn't here at school. I wish I was home with my mom to like keep an eye on her. Like you get that like that watchful feeling. Right.
And that must be like, that's got to carry on with him even afterwards. He said that like him and his brother had to switch on. They would miss a lot of school, and then entering high school, it was like, you got to come to class, which obviously, we all know that. And he said, the first time he knew his mom was dealing with a lot of mental health issues, but when he was like 12 or 13 years old, he saw his mom come out of the bathroom, like trying to slit her wrist. And from that moment on, like you said, he would always go to school worrying. And then when he was 24, his mom took her own life, and that really like flipped his whole world upside down, obviously, as it would. And it took a little while for him to get to the point where he realized that like life does matter, people matter, his friends matter, relationships matter, and like all those things can be, because something so life-changing like that could make you believe like, what is the point of all of this? Completely. If she couldn't find the reason, like, how about myself? So I feel like that was a really, really powerful moment, and you could just tell on Michelle's face how deeply she felt for Jamie in that moment. And even not knowing him well, she said, I'm really proud of you coming through this. And I think that everyone even watching that can feel that way.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that Michelle, she cried the entire time. She was just like wiping tears the entire time. And I think that her being proud of him and letting him know that she was proud of him, being like, I don't even know you that well, but I'm just so proud of what you've overcome, whatever. I think that that speaks a lot to her as a person. I think that she was clearly so moved by that story and clearly empathetic, and just trying to be like, holy shit, I can't believe you went through this. I admire you for being able to finally figure yourself out and be able to like continue on. And something else Jamie said that was like, life is worth living. There are like relationships are worth having, like just realizing all of the like little pockets of worth that you can go on with in your life. The conversation was unbelievable.
I really thought it was a really good conversation. And I think that lately, more on the more recent seasons, we've been having conversations like this that I think it's just important for people watching the show to be like, oh, okay, this happens to people even like going on TV. And I think that Michelle and him, like, even as serious it is and how dark it is, sharing stuff like that brings people so much closer, and you see them in a different light. So I thought that was good for Michelle and Jamie. Then we moved on to another group date the next day. And now this is where it's like, we got the teacher vibe in the beginning. Yep. Now it's basketball time. Now it's Joe time. It's all Joe time.
It is all basketball, all Joe, all the time.
Yes.
There is nothing but basketball for Michelle from here on out. Like, I mean, Joe is lucky to even get enough space next to basketball. I have never seen someone so passionate about basketball. And I feel like, yes, they've mentioned she likes basketball a lot. Like, I don't know. I feel like I was not aware that she was just this crazy about basketball. She
fucking loves basketball.
She loves it.
And let me tell you this. Joe was Mr. Minnesota basketball in 2011.
Mr. Minnesota basketball.
Big
Stand
fucking
up,
deal.
Mr.
Big
Minnesota.
fucking deal. And she was Miss Minnesota basketball runner-up.
Runner-up. That clarification. Do you think that when she was telling that, being like, I was Miss Minnesota, and then she like at last second slipped in runner-up.
Yeah.
Do you think that she was gonna lie and be like, I was Miss Minnesota?
It kind of felt like that because
I thought
then
so
she had to
too.
be like runner-up and start laughing. The way she was talking about Joe and him being this star basketball player was like, you got a little glimpse of like, there's people out there that it's like when you really love one thing and a guy is really good at that one thing, you're so fascinated by that.
You
like
love it.
You could be the best person in the world. You could be the most open-hearted person in the world. Like I think Michelle is so open to finding anything, but she fucking loves basketball so much that Joe being this good of a basketball player is selling her on all fronts. She does not care anything else about Joe.
Nope.
The fact that he was Mr. Minnesota basketball in 2011.
Forget it.
Fuck it.
Forget it. Like she's ready to end the competition now. I'll be honest with you. While we were watching this, I genuinely thought, I don't know. Wait, what was I just saying? I forgot. I completely.
While you were
forgot what I was just
watching
saying.
this, you don't know.
What just happened to me?
Did your brain just malfunction?
Yes. What were we just talking about? Mr. Minnesota? Oh, I'm so stupid. Okay. I was saying while we were watching this, I was completely convinced that she was going to stop the show altogether. Like she was like, all right, The Bachelorette is over. I choose Joe. End of story. Like we're going late into the fall, whatever. Like there are no episodes left. We are done here. Joe is it. That's it.
Yes.
But what I thought was crazy that, well, how did she even know that information about Joe, the 2011 Mr. Minnesota thing, like off the top of her head? Like she came in like, a lot of people don't know this, but Joe actually is Mr. Minnesota 2011. It's like, Michelle, how'd you know that? Like, are you sure this man's a stranger? Like you slid into his DMs one time. Did she also stalk his entire life? Like I think that Michelle is obsessed with Joe and like always was.
Yeah.
And now they're just like in love.
She's
fully.
known about Joe since 2011, which is
It's crazy.
insane.
It's a long time ago.
It's a long
decade
time
ago.
It is. It's a long time, and we are going to talk about the results of the group date. But first, I don't know. What I'm gathering here is that Michelle maybe wants to make a baby with Joe. Maybe wants to have a little basketball baby with Joe.
We're seeing some baby making.
We're seeing some baby making,
future.
and maybe seeing Joe and Michelle together has you thinking, I want to make a baby. Maybe you're getting a little horned up watching these two little loving basketball
How could you
action.
not? How could you not after watching those two on the court?
And those two, oh my God, basketball gets me going.
No choice.
But nowadays, more knowledge is more power. And when you know more, you can make better decisions about your life, for your body, your health, and your future. And there aren't many bigger decisions than deciding if you want to have a baby.
Yeah,
That's
arguably the biggest decision.
It's a pretty fucking big decision in people's lives. They're like, do I want to have kids? Do I not want to have kids? Kids are, they change people's lives, and they're big responsibilities. And
They're
that's
alive. They're
why,
living. You
Yeah,
gotta
they
take
are
care of
living
them.
human beings.
Yeah, they're living. They walk around.
Yes, and you
Forever.
have to take care of them. And that is why modern fertility was created. It's the easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a single finger prick. You can mail it in with a prepaid label, and you will get your personalized results within 10 days. Traditional testing at your doctor can cost hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of dollars, but modern fertility gets you the same info at $159, which is a fraction of the price. But then when you add the Chicks code with it, you'll get it at $139 instead of $159. So our listeners can get $20 off their test now if they go to modernfertility.com/chicks. That means you'll get the test for $139. Like I said, get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/chicks. Once again, the more you know is better. Make sure you're in touch with your body, in tune with your body, your mind, your health, everything. So go to modernfertility.com/chicks and get $20 off your order. Okay, so the results of the group date. Joe was not on the team that won, but surprise, 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 there's a VIP award.
Of course.
There's a
MVP.
Oh, sorry. There's an MVP award.
Yes.
That goes to Joe. so that Joe can go to the
You
hangout.
can't be the MVP if your team lost. You just
You
can't.
can't. You can't be. It was crazy behavior. Like I saw.
They
that
do not
happening.
give that out in the NBA. The MVP award does not go
Imagine
to the loser.
Tom Brady loses the Super Bowl and gets MVP. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Doesn't Tom Brady get it every
doesn't
single
work
time?
like I'm sure they would do that for Tom Brady, but it
For
just
real.
doesn't work out that way.
It's insane. And when that all transpired, the blue team, which had like Rodney, it had Clayton, and a couple of the other guys, I forget who they are right now, who were all very good at basketball. They were a fantastic team. Like it's as if they had played before, like a couple of pickup games. Like they were great. The red team that Joe was on, they were terrible. Like they did not know what they were doing. Joe was the only one who
If
knew.
Joe's so good, he should have been able to carry the whole
Honestly,
fucking
right?
team.
Like exactly. But and they came back from behind. They lost by just a point. Like it was so close, and it was crazy.
It was so close. It was a crazy
really
game.
It was a crazy game. It was so close. Even the WNBA girls were like, these guys are pretty good. Like it was interesting to watch. But then when she's picking, like obviously it's blue team, we're headed out to the date, after the way that she was flirting with Joe before they even started the game, like she was playing, in front of all the guys, just playing a little pickup with him right in front of everybody, being like, "Ooh, yeah, is this a men's basketball?" Like blah blah blah. I was like, "Damn, Michelle is hot and bothered by basketball." I'm telling you,
There's a
She loves it.
certain look in somebody's eyes when they are talking to someone they like,
Mm-hmm.
and Michelle had that look.
Had that look like I've never seen before.
Like you just know, and looking at Michelle, you were like, she loves Joe. She's
Obsessed.
infatuated with Joe, which is fine. Like, if she likes Joe, she likes Joe. There's a reason these guys are there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping it's not a fuck everybody else, I'm going for Joe immediately kind of thing, because Joe did ghost her. We need to remember that, which we will talk later on in the episode about. So Joe, he goes on the date now, obviously.
So now it's the 4 winners plus Joe.
Because he's MVP.
Because he's MVP, yeah.
And on top of that, Joe gets the roast. So Joe loses.
It's crazy.
Joe loses.
It's crazy.
Gets MVP, first of all, and then gets the rose. She couldn't do MVP, someone else, rose someone else. This guy got double awards.
Double awards. It's crazy. And also, too, I
He's
want to
that
point
good
out,
at basketball. They play more basketball together.
the only thing, though, that stops me from thinking that Michelle's not going to stop the season right now and go hang out with Joe is that she made sure to make out with every single one of those guys.
Yes.
Every single one. I swear to God, in this entire episode, the only people she did not make out with on this episode were the people that went home at the end of the episode.
You know what? That's fair. You
That is
gotta
fair.
make
You
out
gotta
with
kiss
everyone
everybody. You gotta
to
see
know
what
their
they're
kissing
working with.
style.
You must. But it was the way they edited it together. It was 10 minutes of Michelle making out with different guys.
Yes.
It was great.
And you know what? Good for her. Because
for her.
she had to find out if their basketball skills aren't good, are their tongue skills good.
You gotta know.
She has to know.
You gotta know.
We move on to the pre-cocktail party. Like I said, she's wearing a great dress.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Love
gorgeous.
that purple dress.
Oh, it was so
Stunning.
good. Amazing dress.
Stunning.
Once again, makes out with everyone. Mm-hmm. Like you said.
Yeah.
Besides
Being
the people that
stolen
went
away
home.
inside rooms. Like
Yes.
anybody that wasn't on the date originally is trying to catch up on some time. I think that I forget if it was on that date the night before or with her in the new pretty dress where she's up against the wall making out with Nate. Like there's all kinds of shit going on. So
the whole
she's-
thing.
She's horned up.
She is horned up for sure.
Yeah.
This is where things escalate. And now Jamie, he had a good date. We talked about this. Very serious conversation. Good for him and Michelle to open up like this. And he's talking to a few of the guys, including Martin. Very important to note that Martin was there. Martin with the blonde hair, which
Martin
I think
with the blonde hair, which by the way, he was on the date. He was on the winning
Yeah.
team. He is the only guy that it seemed like Michelle wasn't dying to make out
Yes.
with. Like he was the only one who was kind of pulled her into it, and she was like, okay,
I think his name should be Ricky Martin, because I don't
Yeah.
think he looks like a Martin, but I think he looks like a Ricky Martin.
that's fair.
So Jamie's in a group with these guys, and he's talking, and they're talking about Joe, and they're all, and Jamie brings up like I'm not okay with this. Like if she knew Joe before, I'm not okay with this. And the guys are like, did she know Joe before? Like whatever. The other guys disperse. It's just Jamie and Martin, and Jamie decides to bring up to Martin that he had a friend in Minnesota one time. See Michelle out because the friend's girlfriend or whatever was like, oh, Michelle, that's Michelle, the Bachelorette.
Yeah, that's Bachelorette.
And he saw Michelle with a tall, light-skinned baller.
Tall,
Light-skinned
light-skinned
baller.
baller. BALLER.
Baller, not bald guy.
Not bald guy.
baller. And as we all know, Joe is a baller. So we have to note that.
Oh, Rio, we know that Joe.
We
is a
know
baller.
Joe's a baller.
We know if we
He
know
balls
anything
out.
about Joe, it's that he's a baller.
Yes. Martin is like, did you forget this information when we were all talking just a second ago?
Yeah.
Like what? I'm also confused by this too, because They were all talking about it, and Jamie was like, I need to know if they knew each other before. And
Jamie
then
didn't
all
say
of a sudden, he brings out the information to Martin. Does he only trust Martin? Like, where did this come from? Why did he decide he wasn't going to tell that group? He decided he was going to tell Martin.
I thought it was weird that he only told him. The only thing I could think of is that maybe it was like a little bit of a lie or an exaggeration or something, and he was worried about it like getting too out of hand. Like he was testing it out on Martin, being like, all right, how is this guy going to react to this? And based on this reaction, I'll go do what I need to do. I'll either tell more guys or I'll just go right to Michelle.
Yeah, I think that maybe that was the smarter move, because if he told all the guys, then later in the episode we see everyone finds out, more guys would be like, it's Jamie.
Right.
Only Martin knows now.
Right.
So it's weird that Jamie waited to bring this up, but I kind of get it. He's like, I can't tell everyone. Maybe he trusts Martin. Maybe they have a friendship that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Jamie then goes and brings it up to Michelle. As soon as Jamie brings it up to Michelle, big gulp swallow from Michelle.
Big gulp.
When someone
and
brings
eyelash
something
flutter.
up, yes,
eyelash flutter as
when
well.
somebody brings something up to you and it's a immediate, it's
Gulp.
like
Gulp.
just
Like,
say
literally
just
like
say
that.
yes, because you just see the big gulp. You're
Yes.
like, why did you swallow immediately when he said that? It was
eyelash,
strange.
she was like,
yeah. Oh,
like,
you know.
what?
Okay, you caught me.
excuse me?
Yes.
Like that's like the most eyelash flutters I've ever seen in my
Yes.
I've never seen someone caught in a lie bigger than that.
And Michelle doesn't deny it to Jamie. He says the same thing he told to Martin. Michelle's booed up already, tall, light-skinned baller. Michelle takes this as
Booed up. He says it like
booed
10
up.
times,
But
yeah.
it's a good song.
It
Booed
is,
up.
yeah, it is.
Um,
Booed up, did it? Yeah.
Michelle takes this as all as disrespectful, and like we said, she's not denying it immediately to Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a little frustrated and says she needs to take a minute alone. She doesn't want to sit with Jamie and talk about this anymore. She feels like she has to go talk to Tayshia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are your thoughts on how Tayshia is handling this with Michelle?
So my favorite thing about Tayshia, I think, is that she's good on the show. She's great with Caitlyn. I think that she doesn't give a fuck about these like consoling moments. She's kind of just like, yeah, I don't know, like deal with it. Like she's no bullshit all the time.
Yeah.
So when Michelle comes over and she's like, oh, like these guys they're saying this stuff and it just feels disrespectful. Tasha's like, I mean, yeah, well, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna do? Like she just kind of sits there like,
Yeah,
sounds like a
she's
you
nodding-
problem.
She's nodding her head like,
Yeah, she's like, yeah, all right, and she'll be like, oh shit, okay, all right. She doesn't like do a whole lot with it, and I think I like that approach because then Michelle's just stuck with it, and then Michelle has to do what she feels like she has to do. She's not gonna get like real guidance because she, in my opinion, based on her reactions to this, seems like she's lying and that she did go out with Joe. Like it kind of sounds like that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Tayshia can't tell her what to do. So Michelle just needs an outlet to tell somebody what's happening and then figure it out from there. So Michelle goes and talks to the guys now because she is frustrated at what Jamie told her. She addresses all the guys and she denies meeting Joe. She said, the night that everyone stepped out of the limo was the first time I met everybody. Joe and I did exchange a few messages. He ghosted me after 2 messages. It's embarrassing, but she can laugh about it now. And then she goes into talk about how she finds it offensive that because she's a woman of color and because the guy that she was probably seen out with was another person of color, that people automatically assume they're together. And if she was out with a white guy, they wouldn't assume she was together. So it turned into a more serious conversation amongst the guys. They didn't really care about that part.
Yeah.
They're just all stuck on, did Michelle know Joe, and who's the guy telling Michelle about this Joe information?
Right. And meanwhile, Jamie is sitting there watching this information. Michelle comes in and she's like pissed off. She's like, you guys are all talking about me. Like, this is the deal.
Finds it disrespectful.
She finds it disrespectful. She's trying to set the record straight. I still think like, unless Jamie is making that story up completely, it seems like a very convenient story. So it's either a totally fake fucking story or Michelle's got some explaining to do, because that certainly does sound like Joe. Like everything about it, whatever. So we'll see. But as far
Specifically
as she's
the baller part.
The baller part.
Like somebody
it's-
like saying he's a baller.
Right.
I'm like, the fact that
also,
or
how did
Jamie,
he know he was a baller? Was he like have a basketball with him?
I'm picturing Michelle and Joe throwing a basketball back at each other.
Yeah, like
at the
hanging
bar.
out. They're like just left the gym. They've got their stuff on
Yeah,
still. Like,
Nike-
how does that
Nike
guy
bags.
know?
Imagine they were like,
so you mind if I keep my ball
Yeah,
here?
they have their like sneakers.
I
hanging out
saw
of
them.
their
I
bags.
saw them at Dave
Yeah.
and Buster's, and they were playing Papa Shot the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how did he know he's a baller? Like, that's what I don't get. So I feel like,
But
I don't
looking
know.
back, you could see how like rehearsed it was in his head. Because
Yeah.
he's like, oh yeah, and then my friend actually Like he just remembered. Like my friend ran into and said that he saw you. Like he waited till like this moment to
And
tell
the
her this.
and the smirk on his face.
Yeah.
The way he told the story, right? The way he told the story was very, it was very like forced. And can you believe this?
Yeah.
Like, and actually, my friends, funny enough, saw you there. Like, he was just telling it in a weird way.
Are people like, what did she say? She was like, is the house starting to like turn or something? And he's like, yeah, like it's getting bad. Like,
yeah, she was like, are people talking about it like in a disrespectful way? And he's like, yeah, I think so. I think it's time to address it. I think it's time. And I was like, Jamie,
And like
you
nobody's
told
talking about
Martin.
it.
Martin barely reacted. He was like, all right, dude, and then walked away. And that was it. Like, that's all that has happened.
The only
What are you
person that
talking
cares
about?
is Jamie, and I feel like that was kind of shady of Jamie. Jamie should have
It was
been like,
very shady
he
of
was
Jamie.
concerned, not the guys. Michelle could have just told Jamie herself. It didn't have to be this whole big thing. But now all the guys are pissed because they're like, who the fuck is saying something to Michelle? Who's pissing her off? Because then it takes away, now the cocktail party's over. It takes
canceled.
away time with everybody else because when the Bachelorette gets mad, then she doesn't want to have the
didn't this
cocktail party.
happen like last season where like the same thing happened where someone made something up and everyone's like,
I
who
want to
said
say
it?
it was
And-
Thomas. Wasn't it Thomas?
And but I think he at least
And
was
Aaron?
like, it was I said it. Like he at least was like, it was me. And then everyone was pissed, but like,
Yeah, and then he went home.
yeah.
And he went home right
But at
away.
least,
It was
like,
that
own
was
it.
the whole Aaron Thomas argument, I think. But I don't think that what Thomas had to say, I wish I could remember. I don't think it was like untrue. Like I think there was like a little bit of
Yeah. But
truth
there was
to
definitely
it.
a moment where they were at least like, yeah, it was me.
Right.
Instead of
And
just-
and no, Jamie just plowed right through that. Like, yeah, Michelle comes out, she's confronting everybody. She leaves. The guys now are like, come on, guys. Like, who they do the typical like, who's pissing
Who
off
done
Michelle?
it?
What did that
Like,
one
what are
guy
you guys
say? He was
doing?
like, I mean, I'm just gonna say whoever said this, soft. Like, cut to them.
He said it,
Yeah.
pussy.
Yeah, literally.
Whoever said this is a bitch.
Yeah.
they
If only Aaron was there.
If only Aaron was there.
If only Aaron was in the room.
If Aaron were there, we would get to the bottom of this.
Bro, you're such a
Bro,
bitch.
speak up. Bro, speak up. That would be Aaron.
That would have been good.
And so we sit there and we're watching all these guys being like, "Pff, damn, fuck, like who's saying this shit?" And then we look over, we see Jamie like, yeah, man, like who's saying it? Like
I don't know.
who could be doing this? Like this is crazy.
He's like,
you
my mind is
guys."
spinning. My mind is spinning.
Whoa.
So like I don't know, just in the moment you probably don't see it, but like watching that, it's like he's the most guilty guy. Like he's like looking around like, oh, I don't know.
He did
Yeah.
look guilty as I think I wrote in my notes like Jamie looks guilty.
Yeah, looking so guilty.
They're like, can you believe this? He's
I
like,
have
don't-
I have in my
I don't
notes
know.
all caps. Jamie won't come clean.
Jamie says nothing.
It would have been funny. It would have been funny if he was like kind of trying to defend him, being like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they had a reason. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure the guy meant well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not focus on who
Yeah.
told
Hey,
her.
guys,
Let's focus on the
let's
truth.
not gang up on anyone.
Was
okay?
she out with Joe?
Was she out with the baller?
You said
And
yeah.
was he a baller?
It sounds like he was a baller, shot caller. We saw her flirting with him in the gym 10 minutes ago. Who's at fault here, guys? We're ganging up on Joe, not Jamie.
I'm also sure that the guy's friend who told him is a really good friend.
Right. Like he's probably just, what's going on?
Oh man. All right, so we go into the rose ceremony and 4 people were sent home. Pardeep, PJ. PJ gave a weak ass hug. You could tell Michelle did not
he
like
wanted to
that.
get
I
out
actually
of
think
there,
he was
yeah.
gonna go like.
I
all the
did,
way.
and we
Yeah,
liked
we
PJ.
did.
I
We
could
loved
see him.
him.
I could see him going to paradise. I don't know why,
he's-
but
he's
he had a
built
good
for paradise
vibe
for sure,
So
yeah.
Pardeep, PJ, Daniel, and Alec are all gone. She
Peace.
didn't make out with any of those boys, I don't think.
think so
And
either.
the final rose goes to Peter, and you can tell on her face that she was just like, Peter. Like she did
like,
not
they
want to
built
give it to
up-
Peter.
They built up this big thing, last rose, and the buildup was, is she going to give a rose to Peter? Which I don't even think that she had that much of a connection with Peter. The only thing I will say for Peter is that when he did talk to her and said like, listen, I don't know, like I was just fighting with that guy, like that's not usually like me. I'm in a weird situation. Like he owned up to that really quickly and right away was like, no, I don't want to be like the
There
asshole of the
just has
season.
to be like every season a producer being like, you, no matter what, you have
sure.
to keep this guy.
Yeah, no,
sure.
I think that's known that
Yeah,
happens.
but like
definitely.
clearly, like this
and
guy's.
her face, like her face and her tone, she was just like Peter. Like she just did not want to. She could have given it to any of those other guys. You know what I mean? And it would have been exactly the same. They want to keep Peter around because he was obnoxious during the teacher thing, and he got in a fight. So he's a lightning rod for drama apparently. And I'm out on Peter. I'm out. I wish he was not there anymore. I wish that he went home.
I think Peter's gonna go home soon. Stunad, Gabagool,
Yeah, it's-
Mutzadel.
He's got a couple pieces in the
Clayton.
oven at home.
Still there, right?
Who's still there?
Clayton.
Clayton's still there.
Clayton's
yeah.
still there.
I would have thought he was
oh my
been gone
God.
by now.
When Clayton got his, Clayton was like, yes. Like, he literally was psyched.
Score!
I was being
Fist
like,
pump.
Clayton, you faker. Like, you're such
Yeah.
a faker. You bachelor bitch. So, yeah, that was something.
Wait,
but I think,
what do you mean? Like he knows?
No, he doesn't know. But we all know.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause-
we all know. But like in that moment, you think he still is like.
Oh,
He's
no,
still
no, no.
trying
No,
to be
in that
with her,
moment,
yeah.
he definitely was serious. Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
But here we are, like, we're all falling for
Oh,
him.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, like, he's so psyched about it. It's like, that's Mr. Bachelor.
No.
Something goes awry, so I won't get
Yeah.
excited. Although I will say, Clayton, he, like, when he came up to accept his rose, I was like, this man is so hot. Like, he looked so good. And something about, like, just, I don't know, the way he was moving his face, like, he looked like a star.
Yeah.
And so now I'm, for
Maybe
some
he'll-
reason,
maybe he'll
really
sneak
excited
in.
for him.
Maybe he'll sneak in.
I
As like an
like-
underrated player.
I think that he
And
might.
I say player because we're talking basketball.
Right, because we're talking basketball. Of course.
Maybe he'll come off the bench.
Because ball is life, man. Ball is life. We
Ball
can never
is
forget
life.
that.
That wraps it up. I think that we
think so.
pretty much covered everything in the episode. I think
Yeah.
that this Joe drama is going to continue, but I do see Joe like making it pretty far at this point. I think that she really likes him. I think we didn't see a lot from Nate this episode, and people really like Nate.
Yeah.
The first episode,
They had a little bit of that, like a moment where they were making out. He was pushing up against the wall. That was a cute thing. And then they played a little one-on-one too at one point. Like they're still playing fucking basketball.
Everybody's
like,
playing basketball.
I
When
wrote down
Michelle
all the
was playing
things.
against him, he wasn't even like joking around. Joe, he was just like, he looked up very into it.
He's
like,
a fucking
I'm gonna
baller,
defend, yeah.
dude. Of
He was
course
so
he's
into
gonna
it.
be into it.
Well, I said this, and no, I'm happy you're here because I was hoping Trent would be, so I could ask him this question. I feel like guys love to be gross and sweaty together after basketball. Like ballers,
rub up on each other?
You mean
Ballers,
after? Like
after it's over, like when they were all done playing that game, they were all like, bros, like hanging on each
Ah,
other.
let me
like,
lick your
so
abs.
Sweaty, and I
there's
said, like,
definitely
you all are
guys
so
like
sweaty.
that. Nah, I'm not one of them.
It's crazy. I didn't. Okay,
I cannot picture. I cannot picture.
can't picture you like that
Broski
either, but
doing
I
I
that.
mean,
like-
I was like, I played hockey and like that's just like
Team camaraderie.
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 Camaraderie. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Team
like
camaraderie.
No, I'm not like going out of
Slate.
my way to be like, yeah, let's all like get sweat on each
It's like
other.
rub up on each
Yeah.
other. Like I feel like everybody's just so sweaty and gross and like just being bros. So they're all besties now. I also at one point Michelle said something to Joe, being like, I don't know if it's a connection with basketball or I don't know if it's a connection with Minnesota, but we have a connection. And it was just the most serious. And I was like, she fucking loves Minnesota and she loves basketball. So here's what we can deduce
Yeah.
from that. This man has to play basketball. So anybody who doesn't play basketball has
out.
lost already.
Yeah.
So if you
Feels
don't
like
play, get out. So
High
right now
School
at this
Musical.
point, we got Joe, we got Nate, Clayton he played a
Like,
good game.
That
Rodney
coach,
played a
that
good
coach
game.
thing where he's like, my coach died. Like, did he say I just found out
Fuck,
today?
I forgot about that. Yes.
How did he find out?
Remember,
Like,
he was
Yeah.
FaceTiming. He
Oh, he was
FaceTimed.
FaceTiming.
Someone FaceTimed him, like his grandmother or somebody who was maybe his mother. It was somebody a little bit older. Was on FaceTime with him, telling him what happened. And he
it
was
seems
crying, he
almost
was
too good to
upset.
be true. I'm
And then
sure
they-
he is. The coach is dead, but
It was
Yeah.
funny
It's like
timing. Well, so
weird timing.
he
Weird timing.
Thanked
Not
Michelle.
funny.
He thanked her after the fact and was like, "Thank you for like today was a hard
Yeah.
day. Thank you for getting me on the court." And it's like funny that I was on the court today because like it meant a lot to me and whatever. And this like
Would've meant a
tragedy
lot to
happened.
Coach.
It wouldn't. Basically would have meant a lot to the coach. And
Yeah.
so went on about that. But I'm telling you. Basketball, whatever. If you don't have basketball in your life, you're out. You have nothing in common with Michelle anymore. Also, if you want to live anywhere but Minnesota, you gotta go. You
Yeah.
gotta leave. She's never leaving
also have
Minnesota.
to say that the first shot Michelle took, I feel like they edited it to go in. I just want to say that.
It was
I don't-
kinda like
I
the
don't think
Jed
it
shot.
went in. It looked like it was not going in, and then they cut to a camera and it just like bounced in.
I mean, that's definitely probably what happened. You
I'm
think
sure it
Michelle's
was fake,
getting
yeah.
shots in right away? Like
I
she's
mean,
a
if
great
she was
basketball
Miss-
player.
she was Miss Minnesota runner-up
Minnesota,
almost.
True. You guys are right. But
Joe
No,
might be a
she's-
good defender though.
yeah,
So you know, literally
Wait,
never
that's
know.
another thing. I had to. No. This was. She goes, "Are you a good defensor?" Like she didn't say defender. It was the weirdest thing.
She just like she's probably
her
tongue
nose
tied.
calling out.
She's probably tongue-tied.
She's so taken aback by Joe's basketball moves.
Right,
She can't
she's
even speak
verklempt.
right.
She can't help herself. She's
Yeah.
running around here being like, I am soaking wet watching this man play basketball.
Yeah.
She cannot. She can't do anything but think about Joe's ability to
Joe-
play basketball.
Joe
And for that
living
reason,
in Minnesota, him being a
I think he's
basketball
winning.
coach at the school that she teaches at.
it's crazy.
Leaving her on red.
Leaving her on red. Yeah,
Yeah,
leaving her on
still
red
not
forever.
answering her texts.
He'll never answer a text again.
No,
from
no,
her
they'll just talk on the
specifically.
phone.
They'll
But
talk on the phone only.
that wraps it up, and I hope you guys had a good time with us. I think we did a great job.
We did a good job.
I think we did a
were
good job.
Pretty professional.
If you liked it, tweet at us that you liked it.
yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
I would love to hear a little
Yeah,
positivity.
you know what? Why didn't somebody give positivity me and Kelly's
This
way
is
one
like
time?
Yeah,
this
wouldn't
would
that
be
be nice?
like Bachelor recap, if we're just comparing it to basketball, it's like the starters were out, the bench team, the bench team like somehow pulled out a win.
Yes,
exactly.
And they're thinking about making them the starters.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We might need to switch in and out every once in a while. You never know. You never know. Oh, it'll never
Miss you,
happen.
Fran and Trent.
Miss you, Fran and Trent, a lot.
Not to brag, but I will brag a little bit. I was in Florida this weekend. I went to my house in Florida, saw my nano. I surprised him. He really wasn't that excited to see me.
You surprised him?
I did.
know
My
that.
sister and my cousin and my aunt were there, and they didn't tell him I was coming. I was coming from Nashville. He really was not that excited to see me, but I think it's because I had a camera in his face and he got all shy. It is what it is. This is more so I could talk about that. I was in Florida. The weather kind of sucked, but what came in handy was my new Reef sandals.
Woo!
These nice slip-ons I got with my leopard print straps, so I'm fashionable while also being super cozy. You can go from the beach to the boardwalk to maybe you're in a snowy cabin, you want something to slip on. You could throw these on. They're good for all purposes, all weather, on the inside, outside, depending where you are. They got soft, furry, cozy straps, stylish. Different options
so
for you.
cute,
For me,
honestly.
I
They're
like
so
a leopard, obviously, because I'm
course.
like, I want to spice it up a little bit. A little spice in my life.
Leopard
but there are
lady.
other options for you out there that you want. They're inspired by fun, freedom, and spirit of the beach. Reef makes styles that are cute, sustainable, and comfortable. I will say they are so comfortable. I was wearing them all around my house when I stepped outside by the
Reef
lake,
anything
the
is
pool.
incredibly comfortable. They've
Reef,
always been
yes.
the most comfortable.
They
Always.
are.
Reef is.
They know
Reef
what
is
they're
that
doing.
Good. Yeah,
they know
yeah.
what they're doing, especially for the beach and that time of the year. Or if you live in Florida, you're visiting Florida, like I said. So the perfect gift for yourself, your friend, family, loved one is everything that's made more fun and more comfortable, and you can get that with Reef. So receive 20% off your first purchase at reef.com/chicks by using the code chicks. You guys want to check out these sandals. I'm telling you, you won't regret it, even though you may be like, why am I going to get sandals? It's getting colder outside. No, you need them for even walking around the house.
I'll tell you
They're
something.
nice
Inside
little
sandals.
slippers.
Inside
They're like
sandals are the
slippers.
best.
They could be like sandals or they could be like
You got to run
slippers.
downstairs real quick, take the trash out. You
Yeah,
got to run, go
boom.
get your mail, get a
You
package.
got to pick
run
up
to
your
the
food at the
store,
door. Boom,
slide
boom,
'em on.
boom. Slide right in.
So
Perfect, comfortable, fashionable, all of the above. So receive 20% off your first purchase at reef.com/chicks by using the code chicks. All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We have Ciara Miller from Bravo Summer House and now Winter House.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We are great. We are only one episode
Only one episode.
into Winter House, and we already love it. How do you feel watching it air now? Because for us, I would say right before the premiere date was released on our show, we were like, where the fuck is Winter House?
no, I think I saw that,
We're
actually.
waiting.
Yeah.
We really need it. And then like the week next week, it was
was
like
like-
October 15th is coming.
Yeah, it was like kept in a vault. There was like no teaser or anything until like maybe that 6-week mark. But I mean, a little anxiety over the first show. Try not to give away too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole experience was wild. And now I'm watching it back and I'm like, wow, I don't really remember that first party.
Yeah.
Like, we did a lot of jello shots that night.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's what makes the show
The show.
Yeah, because everybody doesn't shy away from like partying the way they would normally party when they're not on TV.
Right. And then
Yeah.
I bet when the alcohol gets in the mix, you forget the cameras are around and things just start happening.
Like, I try to be super conscious. I'm like, okay, remember, there's a camera. I have a mother. I have a father. But it's like, we're all drinking. We're all having like so much fun. It's hard not to like, just go full force.
And like Fran said, we were waiting a while for this. Like when
Yeah.
we first heard rumblings about Winter House, we were like, "Oh my god!" Like because
crossover.
we love
Were you
Summer
excited?
House. Oh, we were so
Oh my
excited
God,
because we
so
love
excited.
Summer House and Southern Charm and all those Bravo
Yeah.
shows. And we were like, "Oh, we're gonna get a little mixture of something.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna be
Like the
better."
perfect
But then
way
we
to
were
get
like,
our
"Oh my god!"
favorites.
Now we have to wait so long.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
really had to wait for it. So us being as viewers, feeling antsy about it coming out. How did you feel in this period of time now? Because it was filmed so long ago. You've
my
been
gosh.
waiting. What was that waiting period like?
Hectic. Mind you, I don't even know if I can say. I mean, like, we filmed 2 shows this year
Yes.
already. It's like, it's just, yeah. I mean, there was so much that went down in Vermont and that you have to like keep a lid on. You can't really say anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. You're just like waiting for the public to know, and then like you have Demois who's like seeing us go play. We're still having to like live our life, and it's like, but also keep in mind that like we just filmed a show and we're trying not to give away too much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely hard not to like talk about it because sometimes I have a thought and I just want to be like, just put it on Instagram or something, but I can't.
For sure. From the beginning, though, like, just because, you know, you're fairly recent to Summer House,
so new.
how did you, like, originally get involved in Summer House? Because we know with, like, the Luke connection, but, like, is that really how it happened?
Yeah, honestly, I knew Luke before.
I gotta be honest,
filming.
I forgot that even happened. Like, I've just been a fan of you now and forgot, like, the...
I know, we have really
because
put Luke on the back burner.
Yeah, and you really, like... just meshed so well with everybody
for sure.
in a way that was like, it just seemed so natural that
Yeah.
the Luke thing just wasn't a thing in my head after that point.
And like, I'm kind of so glad, like, Vermont was kind of like, let's put the summer behind us and not even think about it, because I mean, like, it, like, let's start over brand new. But I mean, I did know Luke prior to him even being on Summer House for a few years. Like, we did try to date that whole debacle. I mean, it just didn't work out.
Classic Luke.
You know, I don't know. I try not to, like, predict the future, but I don't think that it'll work out, like, romantically in the future. But, like, we're still good friends, and, like, Vermont was, like, a good place for us to try to be friends again. And then over the summer, just, like, trying to work on our relationship. So, like, but I did really know him before. We did hook up.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, I'll just say that.
And then, did you feel like, from watching it, it really did, like Rhea said, seem like you got along with the girls so well.
Yeah.
Did it feel like that in the moment too? That, like, you were like, okay, I can actually be friends with these girls.
Yeah, I think you know immediately whether you, like, vibe with someone or not. And, like, Paige and Amanda, like, sometimes it feels like we've been friends for much longer than, like, a year.
Right.
I mean, me and Paige talked about this the other night. It doesn't, like, it's only been a year, but it feels like a really long time. Not to mention we go through this ridiculous process together, so that kind of speeds up a friendship and living together too.
And you could see it through, like, we just see it through social media, but I love following all of you guys because I'm like, oh, they look like they have so much fun together. And like she said, you guys all mesh so well. And I think in seasons past, I'm, like, blanking on their names, but, like, other girls that have joined the house, and you just see... Yes, Jules. You just see, like, a very sweet girl, but just
like,
did not.
I
just
remember.
did not go with the group in the way that you did. Like, you really just, like, were your own person and really fit in well.
Like, trying to, like, immerse yourself into a new group of friends that have already known each other for so long is so hard. And then I feel like for girls, it's difficult. Like, making friends at, like, in your 20s is hard.
Right, especially when you put boys in the picture.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and that it all goes to shit. But honestly, I think I've realized more just how much of a girl's girl that I am, and that, like, you know, I I'm always rooting for the female, and I feel like the other girls in the house are like that too. So like, we're kind of like very similar in those in that aspect, and like, they're just chill as fuck. Like, there's not really a lot of drama, like, you know, unless it's, like, needed. So it's like, it's kind of was just, like, easy.
The vibe I'm getting, and I could be wrong, and I don't know if you're allowed to tell me this, but I'm getting the vibe that you, Amanda, and Paige had a lot of fun in Winter House, and that she's making a face now. Maybe there was drama, but what I'm getting is that, like, you guys just had a really good time.
Yeah, we had a fucking blast. I mean, me and Paige got so much closer in Winter House. Obviously, we shared a room, but like, just like our shenanigans are kind of like the same, and like, we just like, I mean, we're partying, getting fucked up, and we're gonna end up in the kitchen talking and just like shooting the shit, and it's just like the perfect recipe for like getting closer and being friends.
Now, you brought up the room. You know, you and Paige shared a room.
Oh, I brought it up.
You brought it up, and that was kind of a major theme of the first episode was Kyle not getting the primary bedroom, and boy,
that's gonna piss Kyle off.
And Kyle, you know, was acting like Kyle. Were you guys like nervous that picking that room was gonna be a problem?
We were like, okay, listen, we both have a bunch of stuff. Not that Kyle and Amanda didn't have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But Amanda kind of was like, we don't need to have the master. We just need like a bathroom and a closet. We were like, okay. And there are a few other rooms that had those same like those same like things that you were looking for.
Closet,
so, bathroom.
Yeah.
So
let's be honest, Paige needs all the room for her clothes.
Yeah, I mean, she filled up pretty much damn near her side of the closet, and I was like, don't even come over here.
Don't even think about it.
Like, and I filled up my little section too. It was just like, I mean, they get, and I have only been there like as of last summer, but they get the the primary bedroom every year, and I mean, we let them. I mean,
it's just
it
so
wasn't
funny
that serious.
It's like, but it is such a hilarious theme across the board, specifically for Bravo shows. Like, I don't see it anywhere else.
Like we're fighting over rooms.
Yeah, except on Bravo.
You guys are traveling
Whether
together the
it's
most.
you
we have to
guys
live
or,
together.
like, that is always
always
been on Real Housewives of New York. Anytime they go anywhere, it is a fight for who gets what room and who gets placed in what room.
And I'll say this about Kyle, like I actually really enjoy Kyle and Amanda and everybody on the show, but I think it's so funny that it's like, maybe one time be like, you know what, guys, I've been having the master all these years. You guys have it. Like why, like, be a little selfless.
That's why Kyle's Kyle.
Yeah, of course that's how he's going to be the way he is, and that's how you get the show.
Right.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
you get him literally like moping around.
Yeah, like kicking the beer. We literally came down the
Yeah.
stairs. We're like, there's beer everywhere. We're like, really? You were
Right.
that upset?
You're throwing a temper tantrum.
But at the end of the day, it was like, we were a couple. You guys are a couple. Like, three, I think, we had to all share rooms. There wasn't enough rooms in the house, truly. Yeah. And he was fine. I mean, he did complain the entire time. But, I mean, he tried to, you know.
they had a place to sleep.
You know, you had a place to lay your head. Yeah. And you could have picked a different room. He could have picked a different room if he didn't get so drunk. That was the other part of it.
Fair.
He got really fucked up.
Now, did you know Craig and Austin before doing Winter House?
No, not at all.
You had not met them before.
No.
But the other girls from Summer House obviously did.
Yeah, I think they had. I don't even watch Southern Charm.
Yeah.
And I refused to watch it before I went too, because I was like, what if I that might be the
Did I just
deciding.
say Southern House or did I say Summer House?
I'm not sure.
You
didn't say either of those.
Oh, I
she
feel like,
said Southern Charm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't.
You said Southern
you
Charm.
just said,
I did.
Okay, yeah. You just said Craig and Austin.
I know, but I said.
I think you said Southern Charm. You got it. You're good. You're good. It's all the same now. Winter House.
It's literally all the
just
same.
call it Winter House.
It's Winter House.
It's just all. It's all the same now. It's
all
amazing. So you
jumbled.
didn't know them. So what was your like first impression of those two?
I mean, okay, we'll say like me and Austin had like. He like did slide in my DMs before the house and like we were chatting just a little bit.
Checks out.
But I didn't think that it was like on that level until like I was like talking to Hannah actually, and Hannah like did Watch What Happens Live with him, and he was like, "What's the deal with this girl?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe he's like messaging me for that."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, maybe he could be interested. Whatever. I'm still going so single." But like even at first, I was like, "I don't think I like these guys." Like I was very turned off. They were just like loud and rambunctious, and I always tell Austin, I'm like, "You guys are just like freaks of nature. You're like over 6 feet. You're already large humans,
Austin's
and then you're
so tall.
so loud on top of that, and then you guys are screaming and fighting with each other. Like that first dinner, there was like a bigger, like it turned into like they were arguing the entire dinner, and then nobody can say anything or get a word in because they're just so rambunctious. So I was like, you guys are just like, you're a little bit too much. But then like after day 3, I was like, like,
Yeah.
Like,
Like, they're kind of fun.
Like I kind of like them.
I could so see that, like those type of guys that are just so loud, like you mentioned, but then you hang out with them, you get to know them, you get to know a different side. You're like, these guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, they're hilarious. And then together, like it was a lot of like me and Paige would be in the bathroom in the morning, like getting ready for like whether we're going skiing or whatever. You just hear Austin and Craig just fucking going back and forth, like downstairs, or like Craig being like, "You're such a loser," like just stupid. Like they sound like little kids, but it's actually so
really
funny.
crack me
That
up.
sounds
Like,
like fun, though.
there's a specific way that Austin says Craig's
name. I say
That
this
is
all
like,
the time.
That is just hits
You know what
so
it is?
different than
It's
how
short.
anybody else says
He shortens it. It's like Craig.
Craig. Yeah.
Craig, you don't understand. No, I know. It's like the way, and we all started this thing like in the house. It was like, "Fuck you, Craig."
Yeah.
Like, the way that Austin says it is like gold.
That's
so
amazing.
now everyone's like, whenever you're like kind of in a pickle or something, or you're just like fuck you, Craig. Like,
But I think the best thing is, it's like so true everywhere that guys can just like scream at each other and yell at each other, and then the next second they're like, like
they're like best friends.
They're best friends.
I still don't
I wish that
understand
we
it.
could all do that.
Yeah, I was like, I've never fought with any of my female friends the way that those two fight.
Yeah.
Like ever. Like they.
That's why they make good.
Yeah, they're good
reality
TV.
TV.
Yeah,
Good players, but that's like I said, because they really do deep down love each other so much that it works, and the combination of everyone together is so great. I actually ran into Austin in the airport this summer, and he was like, "Oh, it's Lindsay's birthday weekend," and I was like, have fun.
Wow. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I'm sure we'll see that play out in 9 months.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one.
Exactly.
I like the face she made.
Exactly. I was just like, oh boy, okay. But you also introduced like a bunch of new people onto Winter House that we have never met before, who are already, taking the show by storm.
Yeah.
That Italian man.
Oh,
a hot Italian man.
Something else.
Yes.
Something else.
It's hard to at first it was hard to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Do you think he plays it up a little bit?
Yeah,
like,
he absolutely does.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he absolutely does. Like,
like
sometimes we'll go to a restaurant and we'll go to an
Mm-hmm.
Italian restaurant and he'll just order everything in Italian and we're like, perfect. I don't need anything. All I need is this. Like, he definitely plays into it. He knows he's hot.
Yeah.
He knows he's hot.
Those are sometimes the worst ones.
yeah, for sure. But
comment.
what was the reaction now that you guys spent time with them? Do you guys still hang out with these new people? Because you were also new, like, really not long ago.
Yeah.
So you know what it's like.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, Julia's in between, like, Miami and New York, so I definitely, if I was in Miami, I definitely hit her up, and, like, we hang out, and whenever she comes to the city, Julia's a lot of fun. Like, she gets wild. She honestly fits in perfectly with us. She just is, like, crazy. Jason, I see Jason on occasion, too. I mean, like, he popped in, not too much this summer, but I haven't... It's kind of on and off.
Yeah.
And then Gabby, I see her too a little bit in the city as well. So I mean, like when we get together, it's kind of like, it's like old times. Like, where can we get a drink and
Have fun and
Talk shit.
like have it all go down? So yeah, they're definitely good additions.
Now, are you a skier?
No.
Oh my God, thank God.
Yeah,
I
oh my God.
I hate skiing.
You guys are gonna see the footage of me. I fucking skied into a tree. I almost broke my
It's
damn
so
wrist.
dangerous.
It's so
Dude,
dangerous.
it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And I was pissed because I literally scorpioned. Like, fucking skied into a tree. I tumble. Amanda was like, your legs, like, touched your head. Your ski was over here. The poles were over there. And then, like, I get up and I'm like, okay, like, I have a concussion. I need to go to the hospital. Like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
And everyone's just, like, looking at me. I'm like, guys, help me. Like, grab a ski. Like, let's go. I'm just not my knees are crooked. So I can't really, skiing is not meant for me.
It's really not meant for me either.
No,
I
my friends all ski too, and it's just like, it's
no
like,
thanks.
they say, and I can do it. I have done it before. I have the physical capability, and they're always like, Fran, why don't you come with us? I'm always like, I could. I just don't want to.
I think it's too dangerous. Like, I hate to sound like I'm not like that.
Hurt yourself,
but
maybe.
no, friend, do you not remember when I went skiing and I flew down the mountain?
Yeah.
And that was it.
Right.
And then I did not go back down. I was like, if I go back down again, I'm getting seriously injured at this, and I do not want to. It's not worth it. It's not fun. It's cold. It's like,
it is cold. Like, you have to be really coordinated.
The environment of skiing, you get some hot chocolate, you walk around. Like, I could just do that at the house.
Especially in Vermont, it is cold.
It is, I mean, there was like a blizzard on like our last day. Like, skiing is not, I think, like, my next winter activity, I'm going to try snowboarding. Because I feel like I'm just going to try it. Skiing, I failed miserably. I have crooked knees, like I said. Like, it's just not. I wonder if skiing will be easier, but après ski, like, we're definitely like a professional and like drinking hottie toddies by the fire. Like, that's my type of like skiing environment.
Yes. Not actually getting on the slopes.
Getting on the lift.
That's the scariest part, getting off
on
the lift.
Getting on and off the lift. I was like, oh. And then I didn't realize there was like a bar that goes over you.
Yeah.
So, girl, I'm just sitting in the ski lift with the shit open.
Yeah,
and I was like, if I fall, like, who invented this? And then somebody was like, pull the thing over you. I was like, okay, well, this is not general information or general knowledge. Like, clearly I'm a novice. Like,
Getting off the lift, arguably harder than just like skiing down the mountain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's just like
I can't wait for you guys to see my struggles. I cannot.
I'm
wait.
excited.
Oh man, now
Yeah.
It'll
I'm
make me
excited
feel better
too.
about
Yeah,
mine.
you will feel so much better. I literally almost got stuck on a mountain because I was like, I can't. I fell, spooked myself. I was like, I can't go down the rest of the way.
So did you ever go back after that, or you just were like it was a one-time
after
thing?
Vermont?
No, just like during the trip.
Yeah, like I'm not a quitter. I don't want to end on a bad note.
Yeah.
So I did go down, but like it was rough. It was rough. I will admit.
How long were you guys there?
17 days.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing.
I
trip.
Yeah, that seems like the perfect amount
It's
of time.
just enough time for everyone to lose their mind.
Oh yeah. Because like
By like the 7th day.
Yeah.
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 But like, it was like the last 5 days. I was like, all right, I'm ready. I love you guys, and this is so fun. But I gotta go. Like, I gotta get out of here. I'm having a meltdown. Like it was a lot.
Yeah. My favorite part of the trailer that we did get for the whole season is Paige being like, how are there 3 women all trying to fight for Austin Kroll? I don't understand. I don't understand. It's by far my favorite. How, like, I know we have
Paige
to
was like,
watch
all
the
right, I'm just
season,
going to go for Craig.
but I want the time. Craig was still with his girlfriends.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, but in that, like, I'm trying to phrase this right because I know you
Okay.
can't tell us too much. But like, how were you shocked when you were like, how did I end up in another love triangle on a Bravo television program?
Yeah, I mean, I need something because I mean, I was like, again, damn.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't expecting it either. I was like, oh, okay. Like, first of all, I didn't even really expect to like Austin. I'm gonna be.
You didn't even think he was flirting with
I
you
didn't
in the
even
DMs.
think that he was flirting with him. But like, honestly, my friends will be like, you don't think anybody's flirting with you until like they're literally just like, hey, I like you, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, yeah, I didn't really like him at first, and then he like really grew on me, and like then I was like, okay, yeah, I like this guy, but I didn't know like the dynamic between him and Lindsay before,
Right.
And like
I don't think we did either.
and yeah, and I mean, even like when he was like telling me about it or telling me about her and like their relationship, it seemed very platonic and like, and I don't know if he just like sold it to me in a different way or I just did not know the extent of it at all.
Yeah.
Because I would have never voluntarily walked into that.
It
And
just feels like sometimes Lindsay is the queen of like
platonic friendships that are actually not platonic. Yes.
Platonic, i.e. Carl.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah. Anyway, no. So wait,
Anyway, how about that birthday party we're gonna see come up?
Yeah.
Anyway, but like we Rhea said, Paige. It ended with there's making out in hot tubs.
Yeah, oh my
Bravo cinematography is just
So
top
sorry.
notch. I'm sure Paige was so happy. It was just like zoomed in shot of her ass on. It was like,
Looks
this is
great.
incredible. Ass looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I was like,
sometimes that's all that matters.
exactly. It was like I was like, if they're gonna show it, at least she looks
Like,
fucking incredible.
Your butt looks great.
Yep. Exactly. Now, Paige has spoken about it now, but during those filming weeks,
Yeah.
Craig was taken.
Yeah.
But now, like, looking back, do you guys say, like, ooh, I kind of feel like there was some chemistry there?
Some vibes.
I
Vibes.
think because I roomed with her,
Yeah.
I think I knew something a little bit before everyone did. But honestly, Craig is very, like, I'm not going to, like, pursue anything while I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
He hates cheating. He hates anything that even feels like it in that realm. And so there was nothing non-existent in Winter House between those two, and also Paige was like with Andrea, so like no, like people are like, oh, they hooked up in Winter House, and it's like no, Paige. I mean, Craig got a girlfriend, and he was very set on that, and like nobody even tried anything, so it's not even
Right.
It was so after the fact.
Yeah. Well, it's just we always joke that it's just when like two beautiful people end up together, you're just like, yeah, you're two beautiful
Yeah,
people.
It makes sense.
I'm sure we'll see it on Summer House. Right.
Or who knows?
She's like,
who knows? But no.
but you were. I mean, not to. Obviously, this is all great, but you were or still are a nurse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you still working as a nurse right now?
So I just moved to New York City. I am getting acclimated. I have started at like one of the hospitals in the city. but I've just been like so busy with like the show stuff and like other like things that I haven't really been able to work like full time. So I'm kind of just like on an as needed basis. If I like want to pick up a shift, I can pick up a shift. If I don't, then I won't. And just kind of keeping it current though. I got to renew my license.
Can you tell us what your current relationship status is?
So single.
Yeah.
So single. Yeah, I love that answer.
Yeah. Single and happy. Like
Yeah.
I'm not on the prowl. I'm like at this point, like whatever comes to me is meant for me.
You and Rhea should hang out.
Yeah, where
Like,
I am also on that
Rhea is-
wavelength.
yeah.
I am
Rhea's
so
living that
single,
single
but
and
also
happy
just
life
like
also.
happy.
Yeah,
Like I'm
like-
not like trying anything.
No, like I'm not going out of my way. I'm not breaking my neck. Like it's very like. And I just moved to New York City, so I'm like,
Yeah.
And it
feel
will
like
come.
I should just like ride the wave, you know? I'm not trying to push anything, you know?
No.
I feel like there's been a lot of like kind of like triggering experiences that I've been like had to go through like lately that I'm just like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
Like
And also just being on these shows and being around these people, sometimes it feels like people can try to manipulate people to be together, and manipulate might be
Yeah.
the wrong word, but they're trying to set people up. Even the
Yeah.
fans of the show want people to be together.
And I love that like people are invested and like they are rooting for us and whatnot in certain ways, but like also it's still very real. Like nobody really could predict like some of the matches that happened in Winter House because they truly were so authentic.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll definitely speak as like me and Austin, like very authentic. Never have guessed it, but like for the better. I think like I don't know, like the timing in our lives are just not right. So like I don't know, we will see. Doesn't mean I never cast anybody like away or like I'll never be with them, but it's just like right here and right now it's just like not the ideal thing, and like it's fine, like even though people are trying to like be like hey, like are you guys should be together,
And that's why it's also so hard too when the show comes out months later, because everyone watching is like thinks that what is happening in the show is like still happening right now.
Yeah.
So that I'm sure that
and then it
could be
brings
hard.
all the feelings back up.
Oh
and
my
that's
god,
all-
yeah. Girl.
Yeah. How was Kyle and Amanda's wedding?
Oh my god.
You looked beautiful. I
Yeah.
loved
Oh my
your
god,
dress.
thank you. Thank you. She looked so beautiful. I like cried when she like came up.
Stunning.
I was like, she just looks so effortlessly beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
That is like exactly how I would describe Amanda
Yeah.
anyway, and just in regular life.
yeah. And it just was like she just looked like her happiest, and I mean, like Kyle looked amazing too. I mean, he even did an outfit change.
Yeah,
like,
Of course.
Yeah. Like he looked so good. His vows were beautiful. It was just like it was a great time. Plus, I mean, the gang was all back together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
of course we're drinking like little nips.
Of course.
Yeah. Like
It looked like so much fun. Obviously, the pictures were so beautiful. And are we gonna see that? Is it filmed? I'm looking at you.
You're looking at me and
because I don't want to. I don't want to get her in trouble. So I'm like, I'm gonna look at you, but I want her to answer.
From my personal viewpoint, I did see some cameras in the background of some
the photos. Yeah.
So
Oh, wait, so
that's
did I.
just my own personal
Oh, I saw that too on the
observation.
dance floor. Yes, we did
Yeah.
see that.
yeah.
Well, Ciara, we are so happy that you came, and we are so excited for the rest of
Oh my
Winter
God, can't
House.
wait.
Yeah.
Really
How
can't
crazy
wait.
is it gonna get?
Oh man, you'll just have to see,
Yeah.
guys. It's a mess. It's a mess. It wouldn't be
A mess is what we love on these shows.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
but that's what we enjoy.
No, but it's fun. I think it's gonna be really fucking hilarious.
Great.
Actually.
Oh, good.
Love
I have a feeling it's going to be. All right, that wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining us. You can all watch Winter House on Bravo Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. You know we'll be watching.
Yes.
Blitz, Summer House, and now Winter House is
Remember?
truly up there as one of the only shows I watch when it's actually on television.
Thank you.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah, and like I really do tune in at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, and not like that and the fucking Bachelorette are like the only ones I watch when it's actually on TV.
Yeah, it's because we went through a weird phase where we just watched all of Summer House and we became obsessed
Yeah,
with
we
it.
did.
Oh,
And then,
really?
yeah, it
We
just
binged it later.
I
Yeah.
watched like 3
In
seasons in like
quarantine,
a
we
week.
binged it.
It was
Oh, wow.
weird.
I
Yeah.
need to do that.
You should.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, look back on the people
Oh,
you're surrounding yourself
you'll
with.
watch like 1 and 2 and be like, who are these people?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Truly.
Oh, but Ciara, thank you so much. We
Thank
really
you
appreciate
guys
it.
for having me. I appreciate it.